All right, where are they now? Wednesdays, Bearcat Hoop. Got another former player of the Cats, and this poor child, I obviously didn't do a good enough job coaching him to not follow into collegiate basketball coaching, because that's where we find Alex Hansen today. But Coach Hansen, say hello to everybody and where you're at right now.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm Alex Hansen. I'm an assistant men's basketball coach at Haverford College. Haverford's right outside of Philadelphia, basically. We're like a mile from Villanova.
And see, Alex has been out. He'll get into his story. He's been on the East Coast for a couple years coaching at the D3 level, and we were just talking about humidity and the problems of humidity out there. I was in Atlanta, like everybody knows, a couple weeks ago, and I know I was soaking wet. I don't know how you guys deal with it day to day.
It feels like you're sweating nonstop, but you get used to it. And it does make me want to come back to the West Coast.
Now I got to talk about in recruiting. We always got to talk about the rain to Willamette, right? So do you have to talk about humidity, or are most of your kids coming from out there anyway, so they're used to it?
It really depends, to be honest. If you the guys that are from the East Coast, like, they're used to it. They don't care at all.
Yeah.
But it's actually the question we get the most is how much does it snow in Philadelphia?
Okay.
And I think people think Philadelphia is like up by like Boston a little bit, where it just gets dumped on kind of thing, and we're like, no, we get one a year kind of thing. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Like,
right.
Please don't turn us down just because you don't want to buy a winter
now,
coat.
in Philly, then, if it's once a year, do they shut down the entire world like they do in Oregon? Because I know when you were out here, you experienced a winter storm Armageddon where no one could move because of 2 inches of snow. How does Philly deal?
They're all right. They're not too bad with it. Boston was way worse. You'd think Boston. Was in Boston right before Philadelphia, and you would think that they would have it down, but it shuts them down quick. A little bit of snow in Boston.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they do it, but
so Alex, I'm gonna give you a minute or two. Go back. So Alex Hansen came in as a point guard for us from Nevada. Ended up having a hell of a senior year at the 2-guard position for us, shooting the hell out of the ball, and take everybody from I had this major at Willamette, all the way through kind of your stops in your career arc to you're at Haverford now. I mean, I tried to hire this guy in the offseason, folks, but I don't have the package compensation for these kids anymore. But Eddie, tell us how you got to where you are now.
Yeah, no problem. So as Kip kind of mentioned, I think I grew up in Reno, Nevada, ended up going to Willamette, and majored in sociology there. Dabbled in a lot of different stuff. Had a great time. Don't have any problem admitting that. After graduation, I actually worked at the Nike World Headquarters up in Portland for about 6 months. I was doing a couple different things for them. I was in product testing a little bit, usually basketball type stuff. Ended up moving down to San Diego, and in San Diego, I kind of got into coaching high school in AAU. I was helping out a couple friends, and I just really enjoyed my time, working with a lot of these kids, and just realized how much I missed, actually being on a basketball court. And from there, I got really lucky. Coach Ione helped me out, put me in contact with a couple people, and I ended up getting an assistant coaching position at Emerson College, which is in downtown Boston. I was there for 2 years, worked under head coach Bill Curley. He's played in the NBA for 7 years, worked under some really great guys, learned a ton. And then in this past year, I moved down to Philadelphia, took a job at Haverford College, and have been there for a year. And have been enjoying the East Coast, although I do kind of want to go back to the West. I miss real Mexican food, I gotta admit. But yeah, they can't do it out here. But
I was out there in the East Coast time zone for game 2 of the finals, and I don't know how you go about watching. Maybe it's good for you because you can get your job done before the 9 o'clock tip off. But I don't know how you guys do it.
It's awful. I mean, I'm a Lakers fan, and I get through about a quarter and a half of the game, and I'm like, I gotta go to bed. Like, right? I can't do this. Like, I look at the box score and I'm like, I guess somebody played well. They won for the first time in 3 years.
Right. Tell us, Alex, dive into, you mentioned sociology here. Do you see either direct correlations or indirect correlations to what you learned in that major, maybe even just in the general liberal arts setting, that you have to put into place every day being a college basketball coach?
Absolutely. I absolutely do. One thing that I loved about my sociology classes at Willamette is I think it really gave me a little bit of an understanding of empathy, actually, and just a lot of stuff that I hadn't really considered, and really opened my eyes to how different people live, and just or different different people from me. And I think that that actually helped me going forward in the fact that I bounced around a lot after college. Kind of going into each situation with an open mind, and just learning how to communicate from it. Yeah. We did it. It was a lot of writing, a lot of talking, a lot of discussion, and a lot of listening at the same time, which is something that I'm really happy that I think I learned how to do a little bit, because I don't think I knew how to listen at all coming in as a freshman. I think it's just helped prepare me a little bit for understanding different experiences than mine, which I think is an extremely valuable thing right now. So,
and I would imagine, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but as an assistant, that listening component probably serves you pretty well, because I'm sure, being in the head coach, I know the guys, sometimes they got to go to the staff members for stuff that they don't want to walk up to the kingdom, so to speak, with. So I'm wondering if that component, that strength of yours, really plays a role in being a good assistant.
Absolutely. I think as an assistant, you definitely kind of toe the line between, the players and the coaching staff in some ways. You got to be able to, a lot of times you got to be able to be a sounding board, to be somebody who can take a little bit of venting or frustration, because, the season's a long time. Kids don't always get, for whatever reason, the playing time they want, or, the situation they want. And, it's not, you definitely have to be able to kind of balance those two things. And, the listening part of it, a lot of it, they just want to be heard, and just, telling them, I hear you, I understand what you're saying, keep grinding, like it's going to pay off in eventually, I think that's, definitely something that's really valuable. So I learned a lot from it, for sure.
From your playing days, and I've asked everybody so far in the series, what skill set, doesn't have to necessarily be, I learned this on the court versus Linfield. It could be from high school, it could be just from training, like being an athlete. What has translated for you into your role as a coach? Obviously the skills, like, I dribbled so I can teach dribbling. But what else have been factors that you experience playing that you lean on every day?
Great question. I guess probably just a lot of understanding that, adversity is going to happen, and that you're going to get through it. I think, everybody as a player has, faced adversity in some way or another, losing games you're not supposed to, or, season's not going exactly the way you expect, for, forces outside of your control. And, it just, an understanding that, each one of those things is a learning experience, taking that and understanding how to grow from it. One thing that I always appreciated with my time with Bearcat Hoop was I thought you did a phenomenal job of, showing us that the season, while basketball was important, it was also an opportunity for growth as a human being, in so many different ways. And I think that, just trying to be able to pass that on, because, like, at the end of the day, D3 athletics, not a lot of these guys are going to be going, playing professionally or making a career out of it. Yeah. What we're doing is really trying to prepare people to be, to pass on lessons and be great citizens and be great teammates, be great people. And I think that, just understanding that there's so much more to it than just wins and losses is something that it took me a while to figure out, but I'm happy I think I did.
With you know, in taking all these stops you've been on, you know, like you mentioned, you got a coach with an NBA veteran. I'm sure you're boss now. Are you starting to formulate what you kind of view as Coach Hansen's philosophy? Has it been picking and choosing things and mashing them? Has it been, hey, I believe this, but this experience taught me to take this thing away? Talk about formulating you as a coach.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually think I was extremely lucky in a lot of ways because I was recruited when you were a pretty new head coach.
Yep.
I think I was your second year.
Yep, second class ever.
I worked at when I worked at Emerson for Bill Curley. I came in. I was on staff his second year, and then here at Haverford, the coach I work under here at Haverford, Pat Doherty, who's an awesome guy. It was his first head coaching job, actually, his very first year.
Oh, okay.
So I think I got to see and play under a lot of coaches who were still trying to figure out that style and what they wanted. And I think I got really lucky in a weird way where I got to kind of see firsthand what I felt like did and didn't work.
Right. Yeah.
And, got the opportunity to, take little things from this one, little things from that one. And because I think as you used to tell us all the time, like, we're trying, it's good to try different things. Like, we don't want to do the same thing every single time, trying new things and new ideas is not a bad thing. And I got to see, 3 different people try and implement their vision and what went wrong and what went right. And luckily I was able to, take a little bit from each one and kind of put together a solid core of ideas that I think I believe in right now. So
give us career arc. I mean, obviously you're working your tail off for Haverford and trying to get that program to where you guys want to be, but where do you want to be? 5 years, 10 years? Are you a D1 guy, D3 guy? All those different, the coaching career path can go so many different ways. What's next for you?
Absolutely. I wish I had a better answer, but I'm not totally sure.
That's okay. You don't have to figure these things out today.
I have I have a ton of ideas and a ton of things I think would be so fun to try. As of right now, I'd love to one day, if I was lucky enough, run my own program. And if that was at the D3 level, phenomenal. If that was at a D1 level, I mean, that'd be amazing. I could never complain about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, I don't think I have like a really clear specific goal. I do know that what I want to do is I want to feel like I'm having an impact on the people that I'm working with, and hopefully, passing on, being in a position where I can, really pass on what I'm doing. So I don't. But other than that, I wish I had a better answer.
No, I
don't
think
have,
that's
a set career goal.
Sometimes the grass is not always greener. I love what you're saying about if I'm having impact where I'm at, let's live this to the fullest. I think that's great. A lot of people can get short-sighted and like, oh, this is not where I'm supposed to. I thought I was going to be on my whiteboard, so I'm failing. No, sometimes where you're living is the experience you're supposed to be in. So I totally respect that. How do people follow you after the interview? They follow you as Coach Hansen, Haverford, how you guys are doing. How do we keep up with you, social media, etc.?
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at Alex_Hansen14, or I think it's just Coach Alex Hansen on there. I shouldn't be too hard to find. But yeah, that's probably the best way. I'll admit I tweet a lot about the NBA.
Oh, I saw you fighting Bomani Jones last week, and I loved it. I was on your side.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't think as a Kobe fan, I don't think I'm a crazy Kobe fan to say that he was the best player for 2 years.
Right.
I don't think that's too crazy.
Right.
But
I agree with you.
Anyway, I digress. But yeah, so if you're okay with reading about some interesting NBA tweets, then give me a follow.
Right.
Haverford should be awesome. We're actually going to Ireland coming
wow.
up in before our next season. We got really lucky. We have a week-long October break before the season starts, and we're going to go to Ireland for about 10 days.
Oh, that's amazing.
Have an awesome experience with the kids, and I'm sure I'll be, posting pictures and experiences from that. So if you want to follow us for that. And, that's probably the best way to follow. Twitter's probably my my most used app. So,
That's amazing. Alex Hansen, Bearcat Hoop, now on the staff, Haverford, Philadelphia area. Coach Hansen, thanks for coming on, bud.
No problem, Kip. Thanks for having me.